Losing weight is hard work, but what makes it harder work is if you don't know where it's come from in the first place. Research has shown that most people underestimate how much they eat by around 20%. Olive oil. It's got a lovely, natural flavour, which is why restaurants often leave it on the table as a condiment so that you can enhance the taste of the meal that you're having. Although it's high in monounsaturated fats, which means it's better for your heart than other oils, it actually contains more calories than butter. And you wouldn't go spreading that on your pizza, would you? If you really do feel the need to liven up your pasta or you've got to spruce up your meal in some way without piling on the pounds, don't pour straight from the bottle. Try half a tablespoon instead. That's only 50 calories. Scientists have proved that the easier food is to reach, the more of it we eat. And of course, these days, it's never been easier to snack.
Sunflower seeds are one of Ronnie's favourite snacks, and whilst they're high in fibre, protein, vitamins, minerals, they're also very high in calories if you eat too many of them. And that's because around 3/4 of those calories are coming from fat. In fact, 100 grams of sunflower seeds is around 580 calories, and that's more than 100 grams of milk chocolate or 4 cans of cola. To give you an example of how much fat and oil is present in the sunflower seeds, I'm going to crush them to release their oil. Look at that. It's that oil and that fat that is the source of most of the calories in the seeds. So if you're thinking about a healthy snack such as nuts or seeds, weigh them out before you munch your way through them. For example, take a tablespoon, measure them out, put them into a little handy box like this, and that's around 100 calories, which is a much healthier snack than a bar of chocolate or a can of cola.
Can you hazard a guess at how many calories is in this plate of coconut? In this small plate, 407 calories, because of course it's so oily. That's more than 1.5 Mars bars.
The fact that the coconut is worth a Mars bar and a half was quite shocking.
You know you're snacking, you know it's healthy, but nuts and seeds and coconut are calorific.
Yeah.
So doing that all of the time is just going to keep the weight on. Ronnie falls into the category I like to call nutritious but naughty. These eaters surround themselves with so-called healthy options, chowing down on wholesome fresh fruit, vegetables, seeds and nuts when they feel peckish. They're motivated by the belief that what they're eating is good for their body. But to put it simply, eating too much of a good thing can make you overweight. My advice to nutritious but naughty types is to create a grazing box each evening with a specific weight of healthy snacks to munch on the following day. Counting the calories going into the box each night means controlling what you're putting into your body in between meals. Studies show that when we're watching a screen, we're 40% more likely to overeat, so a trip to the cinema can be a secret eating minefield as they sell supersized cartons of popcorn and containers of drink. Cinemas make much fatter profit margins from confectionery than movies, and with up to a 1,200% markup, popcorn is where you see the biggest portion distortion. She'll be slashing her portion sizes and cutting out the extras when she goes out to eat. And knocking high-calorie temptations like fizzy drinks and cinema popcorn completely on the head. Ronnie will also be getting more advice on how to manage her polycystic ovary syndrome and its possible effect on her weight gain.
Going forward from here, I'm going to be much more conscious of what I'm eating, much more conscious of the portion sizes as well. Just be more conscious of the fact that it's coming with a label healthy does not mean that it's actually good for my waistline.
By his own admission, Stuart is a stress snacker. These types of eaters crave chocolate, sweets and biscuits for a quick sugar rush, when work or emotional stress is getting them down. But consuming these excess calories regularly can add up to long-term weight gain. So if you're a stress snacker, what can you do? Book in a gym session or go for a walk. Studies show exercise significantly reduces stress. Or try deep breathing as a strategy. It helps to lower blood pressure and has a calming effect on the body. Which will see him start his mornings with a healthy breakfast to help curb his enthusiasm for Twix bars when he's stressed. Ready meals for 2 have been downsized to portions for 1. And he'll be ordering less when he goes out to eat. Across this series, we're exploring ways to eat less by making small changes in our behaviour. This week, we're looking at how our perception of how much we're drinking can be altered by something as simple as the shape of the glass we're using. Hello, David.
Nice to see you. Hi.
Nice to see you again. It's good to see that you've got the drinks in.
Lovely summer afternoon. I thought we'd have a sit here and have a nice little drink.
My kind of man. I've come to central London to meet chartered psychologist Dr. David Lewis to find out more. What is all of this about?
Right, I'd like you to imagine that you're working behind a bar, OK?
Yeah.
And what I'm asking you to do, this is non-alcoholic beverage, I'd like you to pour a shot. Now, you understand a shot
Yes.
is actually
Oh, I know a shot very well.
You know a shot very well. Pour a shot into each of these 2 glasses.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
you think that's an equal amount of liquid poured into each glass?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're happy with that?
Well, do you know, I must admit that probably doubles, but yeah.
Well, let's see. We've got here 2 glasses which are exactly the same dimensions.
Yeah.
So let's see actually how good you were. So that's your tall, thin glass.
Yeah.
Oh, I've spilt a little, and that's your short, fat glass.
No!
Now, I think you can see you've probably poured a third as much again.
There's more.
Now, why did you do that? Because it's an optical illusion. And it's an illusion which fools literally millions of people. It's been very widely researched by psychologists. If you drink out of a short, fat glass, you're going to pour more of the drink into that glass than you are if you use a tall, thin glass.
Simply because it's an optical illusion?
Absolutely. Your brain is deceived by the appearance of the glasses.
So if we were to take this out into the general public, you are pretty sure that they would fall for it?
If you asked them to pour a shot into each of these glasses, they would pour more into this glass than they would into that glass.
Let's have a go. To put the theory to the test, Dr. Lewis has invited 20 volunteers along to the pub. To throw them off the scent of what we're actually testing, we've asked them to take part in a focus group on booze and its effects on the body. The group is asked to sample different cocktails and identify the ingredients by taste alone.
It's ginger ale, isn't it?
It's definitely ginger ale.
Whilst they get stuck into the drinks, in the name of science of course, Dr. Lewis asks individuals to come in and see him one by one.
Hello.
This is where he'll be conducting the real experiment. To find out if people pour more into shorter, fatter glasses than they do into taller, thinner glasses, Dr. David tells each volunteer to free pour a drink without using a measure.
I would like you to imagine you've come home, you're tired, you've kicked your shoes off, you've sat down, and you've decided you need a little drink to refreshen you after the stress and the worries of the day. So there's your tumbler.
Yep.
There, let's imagine that's a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to pour yourself the kind of shot you'd pour yourself
If I was at home.
if you were at home.
10 of them, half the group, are asked to pour into the taller highball glasses, and 10 of them into the shorter, fatter tumblers. The glasses may be different shapes and sizes, but they both hold the same volume.
Well, that looks pretty good to me.
Later on, we'll be back to find out the results. Earlier on, chartered psychologist Dr. David Lewis explained that an optical illusion can trick our brains into drinking more from short, fat glasses than from tall, thin glasses. To put Dr. David's theory to the test, we invited 20 volunteers to meet us in the pub.
There's a ginger beer in it, that's why it got you front.
To throw them off the scent of what we're actually testing, we asked them to take part in a focus group on alcohol and its effects on the body. Dr. David, who was in the bar next door, asked each volunteer to come in and see him one at a time. And this is when the real experiment began.
Hello.
He asked 10 of the volunteers to free pour a drink, without using a measure, into taller highball glasses.
Fantastic.
And asked the other 10 volunteers to do the same into shorter, fatter tumblers. Even though they're different shapes and sizes, they hold the same volume of liquid.
That looks like something you wash your mouth out in the dentist.
Each time a drink was poured, Dr. David transferred the liquid into one of 2 separate jugs, one containing the liquid poured into the taller glasses and the other for the stubbier tumblers.
Thank you very much indeed for your help. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Now all 20 volunteers have finished pouring, let's see how the theory measures up.
Well, the results are in, and they are, as we expected, based on the theory. In this cylinder, we have the total content of the wide glasses, and in this cylinder, we have the total content of the tall, thin glasses. So as you can easily see, far more alcohol was poured into the fat, wide glasses than into the tall, thin glasses.
In fact, the results are overwhelming. 397 millilitres of liquid was poured into the tall, thin glasses compared to 796 millilitres into the shorter, fatter tumblers. If you are trying to watch your weight at home, then this has been proven that if you drink out of a tall, slim glass, rather than a glass like that, it's proved, taking in fewer calories.
Yes, your eyes will deceive you and they will enable you to drink fewer calories. So have a tall, thin glass rather than a short, fat one, and you won't get fat.
That's yours.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.